This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Sunday, May 20th, 2018. The title of this rant is, "This is How a Democracy Dies." Cronies in the Trump administration for a couple $billion selling out our country. So we had Trump Tower 1, which was with the Russians in June of 2016. Now we know of Trump Tower 2, which was with the Saudi Arabians, UAE, and Eric Prince, and a Israeli who specialized in media manipulation, or I would like to say, a social media snake oil salesman. And could there be two separate fronts where other countries tried to influence the 2016 election strictly for the benefit of the betrayer of trust? And we need to get to the bottom of this through Robert Mueller and maybe just the Senate Intelligence Committee, because the House Intelligence Committee ain't going to do dick. But we need to look at some of the things that have gone on. So right after the election, we know that Jared Kushner was trying to find a back channel to the Russians so that he could speak to them directly. At the same time, he was shopping for investors because he, at a 27-year-old in 2007, way overpaid for a building in New York City. And when the housing market went crashing down in 2008, he's left with a $1.6 billion payment that's coming up next year. And he was shopping for investors. He was shopping in China. He also shopped with Qatar. And they politely turned him down. His father went there too. They turned him down. Then, shortly after that, he met with, they call him MBS, I can't pronounce his name, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. And shortly after Jared met with him, the MBS had a shakedown in his country of all of his relatives, because they're all part of the same family, the Wahhabi family, to get extra money out of him. And he also, with UAE, Egypt, and several other countries, had a blockade on Qatar. Interesting. And that cost Qatar billions upon billions of dollars. At the same time, Qatar was a friend of ours. We have 10,000 troops in there, and we have a large airfield because we can't have any of that in Saudi Arabia. They won't allow that. So Qatar was a friend, and that's how Jared takes care of friends in the Middle East. So guess what? Now through another company, the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Qatar has an investments in another company, and that company is now going to invest in Jared's real estate deal. And if you also remember, just last week, the betrayer of trust himself got $500 million through China to invest in some type of land deal in one of the other Southeast Asian countries. Sorry, I can't remember right now. Again, because they were looking at sanctions, and the Chinese said, hey, we know how to play your game too. So we have a couple instances where the betrayer of trust himself and his son-in-law appear to have sold out the best interest of the United States for a lousy couple $1 billion. While who is the winner in all of these types of things? Well, we know Saudi Arabia is, Russia is, China is, and UAE is. And of course, the reason we know Russia is because Russia and Saudi Arabia have been working together to raise gas prices. And of course, gas prices started to fall in 2014, and they've been hovering around $50 a barrel for some time. But since July of last year, those prices have now gone up to $70 a barrel. That's a 40% increase in 1 year. And who's making the money on that? Russia and the UAE. They're making the money on that. And that is how our country and its leaders right now, unscrupulous leaders looking only to line their own pockets, that's what they're doing, selling out our country. This needs to be investigated. The resistance must continue.